fact, my husband, I know not everyone here is in direct sales, but I do want to tell you, like there are so many gifts that come with direct sales. And again, like I don't do direct sales now. I have no reason really to tell you this except I still believe in it. And so that car that you just heard is something that I was able to buy my husband because of the income that I was making with my direct sales business. So super cool, fun fact. Yeah, I have open windows and you have the heater on. I had the heater on. I am dying in here because I thought it was going to be really cold. And so I had my heat on because I was like, I'm going to have to be ready for this. And so I had the heat on. This is my she shed for those of you that are new here. Hi, welcome to my she shed. We downsized in 2020, and my current home is not big enough for an office. And so we bought the she shed, and this is my office. So I love it. It's also our homeschool house, apparently. And didn't know I was going to be doing that either, but here we are. So, anyways, my husband has always wanted a 1969 Camaro, not just any, a very specific one, because it was his dad's car, and then his dad sold it to his brother, and then his brother decided to sell it, and so we were able to buy it. Now, we didn't have to pay as much as probably it was worth, but we still paid a good bit more than we ever would have been able to afford without my income. You know what I'm saying? So, again, that's the beauty of direct sales. And so I just want to give you guys permission right now. If you are in direct sales, dream, dream. Look at what the business can do for you, whether it is providing income or it is, and this doesn't just have to be direct sales. It can just be like a business. I love entrepreneurship. But anyways, side gigs, whatever you want to call it. Um, Having that additional income allows you the opportunities to do things you didn't know that you would ever be able to do. And so enough with that. He's gone now. I can go on to the real conversation, right? And so if you are new here, hey, I'm Melissa Batt, a Christian life and business coach for direct sellers. But this group isn't just for direct sellers. So if you're not a direct seller, do not think you don't belong here, because you absolutely do belong here. This is a group for all women who just want to live a life with purpose. Whether you're currently living with purpose or you just know you want to be, I'm here for it. And I want to help you. So this week we are doing a free workshop for all women. And it's all about goal setting. Not only setting the goal, but actually preparing you to be able to achieve the goal. Because that's the point, right? I talked yesterday briefly about how we sometimes will set a goal and we don't accomplish the goal. And why don't we accomplish the goal? Lots of reasons. Sometimes we like the idea. Look, I'm going to be stepping on some toes today. Okay. I'm going to be stepping on some toes. I hope you're here for it. I say it with love. And I wouldn't know these things exist if it wasn't for me struggling with the same things. Okay. So, one of the things that I see and I have done in the past is like, I like the idea of something better than I actually like the idea of doing it. And so, a lot of the times when I am coaching someone, that's a question I will ask you, especially if you're getting hung up. If you're getting hung up and you say, I had a coaching client who was like, I wanted to have a YouTube channel and do this and all of that. And they had these big goals. And I'm like, do you want it bad enough to work for it? Or do you just like the idea of it? And it's okay if you just like the idea of it. Um, I would ask you more questions if you were to admit that to me. Like, is it fear that's holding you back? Like, is there something holding you back, or is this something that just sounds cool? Just because it sounds cool doesn't mean we have to do it. I think a lot of things sound cool. I love when I see someone doing something that I haven't done, but that doesn't mean it's for me. And so asking yourself those kind of questions are super helpful when it comes to setting goals. Another thing I see and I talked about was sometimes you don't know what kind of goal to set because you're flying by the seat of your pants. Anyone else fly by the seat of their pants? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Let me know. Do you fly by the seat of your pants? If you do, there is a good chance, first of all, that's me. I'm recovering from that. If you fly by the seat of your pants, one thing that you do, and I know because I've done it, is you borrow the ideas of other people. You borrow their goals. Just because it's their goal doesn't mean it has to be your goal. And so, again, thinking about this as when I was in direct sales, or even like, heck, even when it comes to like weight loss or ministry or a nonprofit, or even like at work, you have someone who's like, I want to climb the ranks and make it, I want to own this company one day, or I want to be the president of the company or whatever. And you spend all this time, like they want that. And you're like, oh, that sounds like a really good idea. You automatically think that's like, you have to want that too. You don't have to want that. If that's not God's plan for you, it's okay if you don't want it. That doesn't mean that you suck. It doesn't mean that you're a failure. It doesn't mean that you're not ambitious and driven. It just means you are called for something else. And that's okay. Same thing with like college. Some people automatically think you should be going to college. Like, oh, I need to go to college. I need to get my degree. I need to, like that's what society tells us. That's what the world tells us. But if that's not something that you truly want to do, why are you doing it? Why are you doing it? Just because it's an expectation that other people have for you. Now, granted, like if you're married, like people close to you feel like they know you really well, like you can absolutely take in that information and think about it and pray about it. But just because they expect it from you doesn't mean that's what God expects from you. And so, really, as we get started on talking about goals, I felt like it was really important to start here. Like, why do we mess up? Why do we fail? What are the excuses that we tell ourselves? I wrote down a list of excuses that I hear, and I want to give you an opportunity to share some of your excuses. Like, what are the excuses? What are the reasons why you don't accomplish your goal? What are some reasons why you don't even set a goal in the first place? I want to hear it. So talk to me in the comments. This is the beauty of this workshop being live. It's not recorded on purpose because I really want to I wanted to be able to roll up my sleeves, although I had to take off my jacket because it's so hot out here. I wanted to like get in this with you. Okay. And so I want you to really talk to me and let's dialogue back and forth so I can help you, because the more information you give me, the better I can help you. Okay. And that's what I'm here for. For the next 30 minutes or so, I want to connect with you individually. If you are willing to show up during the noon hour, I am coaching you for free. Let's just put it that way. Okay. So here are some, while you guys are putting it in the comments, here are some of the excuses I have heard or used myself when it comes to goal setting. Okay. I don't have a goal. I don't know what I want. I'm in survival mode. I don't even know where to start. I'm overwhelmed and I haven't even started. Let's see. I don't have time. Oh, that's a big one. I don't have the paper degree that says I'm qualified. That's a good one. I mean, I used for a long time for like the goal that like I knew I wanted to do something, but I was using all kinds of excuses like imposter syndrome got in my head and I didn't even know what that word, like those words meant at the time. But then I realized through working with my coach that it was absolutely imposter syndrome. And I was like, but why do I need to do this? because there's other people already doing it. So why would I need to do it? And of course, this is for like the big dream. Some of you may have been in survival mode so long, you haven't even had time to dream. You're like, I don't have this big dream. I don't have this big goal of where I wanted to go. Although, if you do, listen, one of the bravest things you can do right now is put it in the comments. There is something so powerful about acknowledging it and sharing it with someone else. And when you can share it with someone else, that's the first step. And so if you are brave enough and you have the dream, you have the thing that you know you want to do, put it in the comments for me, okay? Be brave right now. There is so much power in this. I'm telling you. It may not make sense, but believe me, I'm so like, it works. The first time I said out loud what I wanted to do, and then I also said, there's a spider. You guys are about to get real, Melissa. There's a spider crawling on my monitor, on my computer. The problem is, okay. Oh my gosh, guys.
Where?
It went behind the monitor.
Oh, I see it. It's right by your camera.
Do you think you can kill it?
With what?
If you miss, you're grounded. You have to like smash it.
Yeah, but it's like under your camera. Like.
Keep going, guys. We're having a little moment here with like, it ain't a daddy long leg, okay? This is like an ugly spider.
I feel like it's gonna fall though.
If I move this, will it do something?
I'm gonna swish it that way.
You ain't gonna swoosh it. You're gonna smash it and grind it into the back of my monitor. Can you do that?
Yes.
Keep going, guys. Hold on.
Now it's on your camera. Oh, now it fell.
What?
It's where your monitor is connected to your computer.
Jesus takes the wheel. Okay. We're just going to have to leave this. You just watch that spider. So when I get to it, I can get it. It is not a pretty spider. It is not a daddy long leg, y'all. Just saying. Okay, so let's read some of these. I love that some of you guys are brave enough to share. If you have never been part of one of my workshops, you should know right now I have ADHD. And lack of focus used to be a huge excuse for me because I get distracted really easily. And it was an excuse for everything from like wanting to do my dream job to even being able to do a small goal. Like I couldn't focus. Okay, so I hear overwhelm. I can't do that. It won't work out for me. I don't have a goal. I don't have time. No one will support me. Fear of being a failure. First excuse, feeling like I don't have the time. Second excuse, focusing on myself takes time away from my child. Third excuse, what if I really don't want to? Well, you won't know until you try. What I want to do is volunteer at church, fish at my lake house, and do paper crafts. My goals are to sell off my inventory of everything by December 31st. I plan to be personal use and enjoy life. I was borrowing others' goals. I hear you. My dreams won't come true. Not yet. I'm not ready. Maybe when the kids get older. Ooh, that was a really big one. SWAT it. I'm not just a SWAT it. Swatting does not work. My husband is a swatter and
on your computer.
Huh?
Now it's crawling on your computer.
I am not a swatter, y'all, because my husband swats and that doesn't die. He just like, and then it gets lost. No, you got to like smash it, grind it into whatever surface you can. That's how I kill a spider.
I'm scared. I feel like it's gonna jump.
Okay, just wait till it's, I mean, is it in a good location that I can do it?
Unless you come over here or like
Okay, let's keep going. Self-sabotage, fear of failure. I'm going to start a nonprofit to help domestic violence survivors with children's transition from shelter to financial independence. I love that, and we should definitely
coming up on your camera.
We should definitely talk, because that's something I'm currently kind of working on. Fear of change, fear I can't do it, fear I won't make it. My goal would be to support my family so we're able to do things together without worrying about money. Yes, definitely lack of focus. I'm too tired. I'll do it tomorrow. These are all me as well. Okay, thank you guys for being so brave. Those are huge. Some of you guys
It's on the
didn't.
other side. I can't see it anymore.
Some of you guys, I'm just gonna, Jesus, please protect me from the spider so I can stop focusing on it. Amen. Go back to work. It'll be fine. If you hear me like slam something, that means I could kill it myself. Okay, so some of you guys didn't give StreamYard permission, and so it's not going to show me your name. So whoever said they wanted to start a nonprofit to help domestic violence survivors, I would love it if you would share your name. And then let's see, one of the others. There was church. I want to volunteer at my church, fish at my lake house, and do paper crafts. Tell me who you are, because I want to hear from you. I want to know who you are. I can't do that. Okay. Those are, you guys are so brave. That right there, I know sometimes can be so scary just to say it out loud. Mary, which one are you? The nonprofit, or want to volunteer at the church and enjoy the lake? You know, I'd say like Mary, nonprofit, Mary, church and lake. Okay. Or maybe you did both. Maybe you said both. You tell me. Fishing and paper crafts is Glenda. Okay. I actually wondered if that was you, Glenda. Okay, so here are some things that I want to tell you now when it comes to these goals. Like, first of all, if you don't have a goal, it's okay. We can create a goal based on the fact that you don't have a goal. Did you get it?
No.
If you are alive and you don't want to stay the same place that you are.
I'm trying. Okay.
I was like giving up on the spider, and Emmeline is not. You're going to have to come show your face in a minute, because apparently you're the spider champion. After you kill it.
On the DVD.
Just leave it. It's fine. It's going to be fine. If you're alive, and you don't want to stay exactly where you are, which, does anyone want to stay exactly where you are? Someone asked me that one time, and it did not occur to me that some people are completely happy where they are. And I can't grasp that concept, because I feel like no matter where you are, there's opportunity for growth. And if that doesn't mean that you have to continue to strive for more and more and more, and be more and be more and be more and all of that. But I just feel like we always, until the day we die, like, God has a purpose for us. And so we should be living that out. And so your goal may look different. But we can always learn. We can always grow. And so I have a hard time understanding the concept of like, I don't need to set a goal, because I am like, you haven't arrived until you get to heaven. That's my philosophy and my thought. Okay. So, some of you may just want peace. I don't know if you saw my shirt today. Hold on, let's see. It says, I'm addicted to peace. I got this shirt in over the weekend, and it's from Beacon Threads. I love it, because that is like the theme for me. Like, God, help me live in peace. Help me stop worrying about what the world wants from me and start focusing on what you want from me. Help me to be still, be quiet, be okay with being quiet, and be okay with being still. And so, maybe if that is something that you are craving, how do we do that? Now my sister is calling me. Y'all pray for me. Pray for my sister. We haven't heard from her in 2 days. If you don't know, I have a sister who's got mental health issues, unmedicated, and kind of refusing help. And she's been MIA for 2 days. I'm sure she's fine, especially since she just messaged me. But just pray for her. Pray for my mom. My mom's really struggling. If you didn't know, we do a prayer request thing every Sunday. It may have gotten posted today. And so if you have a prayer request, go put that on there. Glenda, I went out from under encumbrances. That's a big word, and I don't even know what that word means. I would have to Google it. Can you put it into Melissa terms for me, please? Anyways, if you're seeking peace, one of the things that I would say for you, setting goals, and this is one of the things I do with every coaching client I take on, is I say, like, okay, we're going to do an audit. Like, what are you currently doing? Why are you doing it? And is it serving you, serving God, and going where He wants to take you? Sometimes we might think we're serving God, but we're really not serving God. We're serving people. And that can happen even inside the church. Sometimes we're doing it, going through the motions, and just feel like we have these expectations from other people, whether it's just in our head or she got it. She got the spider. Thank you. Okay, come here. You're the spider champion, so you get to come say hi now. Huh?
I don't look good right now.
She says she doesn't look good right now.
Pajamas.
She's in pajamas. It's okay. We homeschool. Come on.
Whatever.
She says hi. You guys, say thank you to the spider champion here. Like, she just killed the spider. And you're so funny. You're like, I have on pajamas. You have on your brother's Nike t-shirt and a pair of pajama shorts. That's not like, it's not that bad. Do you have on mascara?
Yeah. But I tried your.
You tried the new one? Okay. You can go back to your work now. Okay. So until I heard you say that, I didn't realize how much peace I was seeking. But peace is something that I think I really need. Yeah. So many times we go to chasing things, looking for peace, when really we just need peace. And so looking at what you're currently doing and being intentional in that. And so if peace is what you're looking for and that's what you're craving, we have to ask ourselves, like, how can we move forward and have more peace? It's funny. This shirt has Bible verses on it, and I wrote them down ahead of time because I felt like this might be something some of you guys needed. And so I wrote these down so you wouldn't have to see me trying to read my shirt upside down. Isaiah 26:3. Write that down if you're craving peace in the season of your life. You will keep in perfect peace all of those whose thoughts are on you because they trust in you. That's a paraphrase version, but go look it up for yourself in your own Bible, Isaiah 26:3. John 14:27. Peace I leave with you. My peace I give you. I do not give the way the world gives. Don't let your hearts be troubled and don't be afraid. Again, that's John 14:27. So if peace is something you're craving, I want you to really meditate on those verses and know that, first of all, Jesus is how you're going to get peace. The world may try to give you peace in a lot of different ways by, like, buying that thing that's showing up on your Facebook ads, or doing that college course, or going on vacation. Like, the world and society and culture may say that's peace, but true peace doesn't any of that. It comes from Jesus. And so don't mean to preach today, but I am considered a Christian life and business coach. So you just get what you get, right? And so I hope you really take that to heart and realize that if peace is what you're craving, number one, pray about it. Like what are you doing that is keeping you? Because even in the midst of the most chaotic season of your life, you can still experience peace. John 14:27. So getting quiet, being still. Glenda, when you said the lake, like I automatically thought of myself because that's something that I have wanted. Like I want to get out of debt. I wanted to be able to be my own boss and have the freedom and flexibility to own my time instead of someone else owning it. And that may seem silly because I was in direct sales and worked from home regardless. And you can do that and have peace and be able to do those things. The problem is a lot of times, especially in direct sales, because you are in direct sales, Glenda, I'm gonna speak to that. There's no boundaries. There's no rhythm. There's no systems. You're flying by the seat of your pants and it's chaotic and it's overwhelming. And you feel like when you're working on your business, you should be working on family things. And when you're working on family things, you should be working your business. It doesn't have to be like that. There's a way to move forward through that and actually have peace. I work with a lot of direct sellers who have now, like their business is more solid than it's ever been, and they have more business than they've had before. They're doing more things than they've ever done before, and they have more peace. So that is a really cool place to be. And I'm not saying that's for you, but I'm just saying, sometimes it's just about getting like your life in order to go from proactive or go to being proactive versus reactive. So many times in life when we're flying by the seat of our pants, and listen, I'm a girl who thrives, or so I thought, flying by the seat of my pants. And what I realized was I am not thriving. I'm in like this adrenaline rush in reactive mode. And that isn't serving me. And it's not serving those who, it's not serving my dreams. It's not serving my goals. And I don't want that for you. I want you to be able to be intentional, proactive. And so with the audit, I look at like, okay, why are you doing what you're doing? What's the purpose? Because everything you do in life should have a purpose, at least in my book. Like, listen, I like to be productive. And so I can make everything, if like, sitting on the couch and watching TV, you might be like, that's not productive, Melissa. It can be, because it's resting my mind and allowing me just to chill with my family. And so it can be productive. And so I feel like I'm on a tangent, but thank you for sticking with me through it. But I want you just to know that through the audit, you can see that. And if you need an audit, that's something that I can absolutely help you with. Actually, I think there's even a freebie on the audit on my website. And then after you do the audit, there's an opportunity to do a one-time call with me to kind of walk you through like, well, what do I do now kind of thing. So you can go check that out if you want to on my website, melissabatt.com, although we're going to be talking about the goal setting challenge. Or through this workshop, I'll be able to help you as well. But a lot of times there's little things that we're doing. We don't even know we're doing it. And we just think that's the way it's always been. So it's the way it's always got to be. It's not true. Okay. So let's see. Owning my time. I want to own my time and not work for others. I want to be able to serve others my way on my time. Amen. That's how entrepreneurs save the world, in my opinion. Okay. So again, this week, here's what you're going to be learning about. Okay. So we are going to help you create a goal or identify a goal. And then by the end of the week, hopefully you will know what you want, set a goal, for the next 12 weeks. I'm going to be teaching you the 12 Weeks to Success way. It's based on the book by Brian Moran. I did a training on it about 14 weeks ago. And I'm kind of going, I'm breaking that up inside this workshop. So we're going to talk about vision. We're going to talk about, because listen, how can you set a goal if you don't know where you want to go? So many times we try to skip ahead and we set a goal when really we need to take the time to figure out where we want to go. We need to ask God where we want to go. We need to dream a little. And it's really hard to do that in survival mode. So if you're in survival mode, listen, I get it. I've been in survival mode. How can you move forward when you're in survival mode? Let me get my emotional support water bottle here. So how do you move forward when you're in survival mode? You start with setting a goal to get out of survival mode. How do you do that? Listen, my walk to the mailbox challenge was me getting out of survival mode. I knew that there were some things that was not helping me. Some of the things that were not helping me off the top of my head when I was in survival mode, let's see. Watching reality TV all day long from my bed and getting up when, taking the kids to school, coming back, getting in my bed, staying in my bed all day long until the kids got home, and then talking to them for a while and then checking out and going back to my room. That's survival mode for me, and that was not serving me. Shopping. To pretend like my reality was different than what it really was. Sometimes shopping can be like an escape. And so it's like, I'm just going to pretend like I'm not in this place that I currently am. And I'm going to pretend my life is what I want it to be. And so through all that, it can be very dangerous. You can end up spending too much money, and then you have a bunch of stuff that you don't need. And then, your house gets full of stuff and your house is messy and cluttered. And so when I was in survival mode, decluttering and setting those parameters to not shop late at night was a big one for me. Reading my Bible, even if it was one verse. Going back to church was me getting out of survival mode. There are a lot of ways to get out of survival mode. And so if you're currently in survival mode, the first step is acknowledging where you are. The second is making a decision to do something about it. And how can you do something about it? You create goals based on where you are. So many times we want to pretend like we're somewhere else when really that's not serving us. We have to be honest and real about where we are. So if you're in survival mode, you're in the pit, you're in the funk, maybe right now you need to nurture yourself. Maybe you need to make sure that you're getting out of the house. That was one of my goals. Once a week, I had to leave the house. Maybe it's just sitting outside and making sure you get some vitamin D. Because listen, when you are going through hard things, we don't get into survival mode just because we snap our fingers like, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. That's not how we get into survival mode. We get into survival mode because of hard circumstances that we have no control over, or bad decisions. It could be, I guess. But regardless, it's a circumstance that we didn't plan for, prepare for, or expect ourselves to be into. It's hard. We didn't choose it, but it just kind of, bam, it happens. And so when you're in that place, acknowledging that's where you are, making a decision to do something about it, and then setting goals based on that. So if that's where you are, I would say there are some very good goals you could set for the next 12 weeks to nurture yourself and understand where you are. Maybe you have this dream that you had forgotten about and you're like, okay, well, I want to do that, but you're also in survival mode. So baby steps. The likelihood of you getting from A to Z without going through B, C, D, E, F, G, all through the alphabet is very, very hard. I remember Tammy, one of my coaching clients, shout out to Tammy if she's here. She might be, I don't know. Tammy talks about a ladder, and she says, you know, like a lot of times you have a ladder and you're trying to get to the top of the ladder, the top of the ladder, and there's one rung on the bottom and one rung up here, and you can't get from here to here. That's because you need to build all these other little rungs, whatever that word is called in a ladder, to help you get to the next step. And so if you're in survival mode, I would really challenge you to set goals that are going to nurture you and help you take one baby step outside of survival mode, getting outside, moving your body, walking to the mailbox. That's a great challenge if you aren't familiar with the walk to the mailbox challenge, that challenge was something that was the very first thing I did when I started this Real Talk Tribe community. And that was walking to the mailbox. The mailbox was not far. So it wasn't necessarily like for me, it was literally, I walked to the mailbox. It was something that I could do even on the worst days, even in the rain, even in a thunderstorm, even with a stomach ache, even with a migraine, even when I did not want to get out of bed, when I wasn't showering, brushing my teeth, or anything. Because listen, when you're in a survival mode, I get it. I could walk to the mailbox. And then once I got to the mailbox, I could decide and make a decision. Do I want to continue walking, or do I want to turn around and go back home, go back in the house? And some days I allowed that to be enough. And then I turned around and went back inside and sat and did whatever I was doing. Probably went back to bed. But some days, once I got to the mailbox, I decided to keep going. And before you know it, I was walking 3 miles and jogging some of it again. But it started with this tiny little decision to just go to the mailbox, something that was so easy, because so many times we get into this go big or go home, right? And I have preached that for a long time. Listen, there are a lot of things I've said when I didn't know any better, and that's one of them. Go big or go home. No, because something is always better than nothing. If you can, if you can't read a whole chapter in your Bible, but you want to get to know God better, start with one verse. Start with setting a timer for 2 minutes. Start with just your little thing that shows up when you have the Bible app downloaded, the verse of the day. Something is always better than nothing. Sitting outside, maybe you're like, oh, I want to sit outside for an hour. Start with 2 minutes. Start with just walking outside and breathing fresh air. Something is always better than nothing. And this is where we really do ourselves a disservice, because we know where we want to go and we bite off more than we can chew. And then by week 2, week 3, we're done. We've already failed. We are hard on ourselves and like, yeah, well, I suck. And then we completely forget about it. We want these goals to be something that's sustainable. And okay. Any questions you guys have, talk to me in the comments. I feel like I'm on a little tangent here, but I think it's really important as we get started on this workshop that we just be honest with ourselves, right? Okay, so I'm going to read some of these questions. I don't even have a goal. Been in survival mode for too long, says Elizabeth. I'm with you, Stephanie. Getting out of survival mode. Me leaving a job that provides financial stability to fulfill my dream and become a better version of myself. Who are you, Facebook user? Tell me who you are that wants the financial stability to fulfill the dream. Tammy, yes, taking small baby steps will get you further than trying to take one giant leap forward, because you won't ever start. Yes. I'm in survival mode now, and why I'm here watching this video, God intervened and helped me see Melissa's message about 12 weeks to success workshop last night, and so glad that he did. Here I am, holding myself accountable for getting myself out of survival mode, one step at a time. I love you, girl. Tell me who you are, because I don't know. It just says Facebook user. This is my 12-week, 12 small baby steps to financial freedom. Tell me who you are. Financial freedom is it Mion? How do you say your name? Mayan? Neon, this is exactly why I stopped doing New Year's resolutions. Amen. I'm in survival mode. I'm a firm believer that you cannot feel helpless if you are helping others. I'm going to start volunteering at our local domestic violence facility. I love that. Okay, so this is something that in 12 steps. Okay, and show me how to pronounce your name because I'm probably butchering it. So serving on the hard days, serving, like, yes, when you serve other people, you kind of like it's a gift that God gives us, that when we serve others, it helps us see that we're okay and we're going to be okay. But you have to be really careful because sometimes, and if I was talking with you one-on-one, I'd probably be able to help you a little bit more. But at the end of the day, you have to discern this. Okay. So, sometimes volunteering and serving others can be a form of escape. And sometimes that's healthy because we aren't in a place where we can heal. But just know that you can do both, but you have to be intentional. And so I don't know if that's for you or for someone else, but I just felt like I needed to throw this in. One who got interviewed is from Jennifer. Okay, Catherine, step out and do it. How do you get yourself to take those small steps? It moved up. How do you get yourself to take those small steps on those hard days? Accountability. Set yourself up the day before. So one of the things that I have set a goal to do is my morning routine every day. I want to do my morning routine. And so I write it out step by step by step by step. And some of it I was already doing, but there are some pieces that are really hard for me to do. And this, like, if you're in survival mode, you're not going to have a 10-step morning routine. Maybe it's like, get out of bed and get dressed. Wash your face. It can be that simple. Wash your face, put on clothes. Shower is another big one, because when you're in survival mode and you're in like the deepest, darkest part of it, showering becomes so hard. Like if you haven't been there, I love that you haven't been there, but for those who have been there, the amount of energy that it can take to do the most simple things like hygiene. For real. So shower even when you don't want to, and give yourself permission that if that's all you did today that was working towards your goal, high five. That's a big deal. That is a huge freaking deal. High five. Okay, so Dottie, sorry I'm late. My plans to build onto the baby steps that I started the last 12 weeks. Awesome. 12 steps is also, let me go back. Now I can't find it. So if you have a goal for to be more financially free, some of the things to do, and some of these, listen, they're going to seem so obvious, but you have to look at your budget. If you don't have a budget, maybe create one, although that wouldn't be my first baby step, because unless that's just your you just love doing that. If you're like me, that's if I was the star, I'm like, you know what? I want to become financially free. Step one, set a budget. Yeah, I'm never making it there. And so you want to build momentum within your weeks. So the 12 weeks to success really is taking 12 weeks, setting a goal, identifying the goal, and then creating the action steps to accomplish that goal. The goal has to be very specific, very measurable. And so some of the things that you can do, so some of the action steps may look like this. Looking at how much money you're spending on eating out and choosing to take the money that you would spend on eating out to pay off a credit card. Go 1 week without eating out, or look at the bills that are going out and the things that are not necessities. For me, when I started really focusing on this, like I got rid of a lot of things. Like we canceled Netflix, although we haven't now because one of my kids pays for it. Drawing the line on like some of those things, like I canceled the FabFitFun, which was one of the last things to go for me because I love the FabFitFun. But I gave up Ipsy. Ipsy, is that how you say it? Yeah, it's been so long. That was one of the things I gave up. I gave up like just all of the little things that really I didn't need. I was just doing. And so again, it's like that autopilot thing, right? We do things and we're like, why are we doing this? Looking at subscriptions is a big one. Like I was subscribed to some apps that I wasn't even using. So cutting out even those little things might be $5.99 a month, but if you can, like those $5.99 charges, they add up. And then looking at that, I'm like, okay, that's a win, right? That's a win. Taking maybe 1 or 2 days a week, and instead of going to the grocery store, you do pantry cleanouts so that you make something with what you have. Eliminating the stops for fountain drinks or energy drinks, as my husband, I would say to my husband because he loves those energy drinks. Those kind of things, really just setting little steps like that, like looking at how much money do you actually have coming in? How much money do you have going out? What are some things that you can eliminate? What are some things that you can renegotiate? And then cutting up the credit cards. Listen, you ain't ever going to get out of debt if you're still spending money and using the credit cards. Preaching to myself right here. Okay. So those are some things. Talking to the kids, having conversations. If you're married, having a conversation with your spouse, having a conversation with your kids to say, listen, we all have to be on board here, because one of the biggest things for me when it comes to financial freedom and me trying to work on that is like, I get mom guilt over like not spending the money and telling my kids we can't do something. I think it comes from my own childhood and not growing up with money, that now my kids, because we've had money and we don't, like when I quit 31, we pretty much eliminated a whole lot of income. And so after that, I had to get like super intentional, and we had to say no to a lot of things. And my kids did not understand because we had lived this lifestyle where it was pretty much like, hey, you want this? Let's go. You want to take 4 friends to the movies? Okay, let's go. And so those are some of the things, like even this year, I can't believe I'm saying this out loud, but it killed me because normally I would take all the kids, all their friends to go eat and pay for everybody. And this year, I couldn't do that. I did not have the money in the budget to spend the money to pay for everyone. When they chose Olive Garden, hello. Anyways, and so like I wanted to do it. I would have made it happen one way or another, but my husband was like, absolutely not. We do not have that in the budget. We cannot do that. And so I'm very thankful for him for putting his foot down and not letting me do that, because I absolutely would have figured out a way to pay for everyone. And then I had to ask myself, like, why? Why do I feel like that is such a necessity, and why does it bother me? Is it a pride thing? Probably. Okay, looking at the comments again as we're wrapping up. Okay, one who God intervened is from Jennifer. Awesome. I mean, I love that you're here, Jennifer. I don't love that you're, have been struggling. My mom died. I'm pregnant January 3rd. I'm in survival mode, trying to figure out my new life now. My mom was my everything. This is hard to deal with, but I'm keeping the faith. I have a dream and a goal to work for myself, and I was headed there. Then my world crashed when my only support died in August. First of all, just you typing that is a huge, huge step. I can't imagine the struggle there. And that's so hard. And I know I actually was like, is this like, I thought you were someone else when I first started reading it, because I have a friend whose mom died and she is pregnant. And I really thought you were her until you said your support died in August. And so then I'm like, okay, you're someone else. But I want you to know you're not alone. Okay. You are not alone. Do you have people in your back that you can laugh with, cry with? That would be a goal that I would want to set for you, probably. I mean, pray about it, but also allow yourself to feel the emotions if you can. Although, listen, sometimes you have to discern, like, I'm not you. There are times when we need to feel the emotions and heal from it, but there are also times when we don't have time or the capacity or the bandwidth because of all the other life things going on, where we can feel those emotions and heal from them. So you really have to talk to yourself and pray and ask God about it. Okay. Mary Weeks, I get that, but I'm also allowing myself to grieve and heal. Okay. So watch Hallmark movies all day like today. I needed this workshop today. I love that you're showing up today for the workshop and giving yourself permission to be where you are. Like, this was something my coach that I'm working with now has told me. Like, there is a day that, like, when it's really, really hard, I'm like, it's so hard for me to get out of bed. And if you have the ability and the time and your life is set up so that you can have a day like that, do it. There, like, that is part of, like, sometimes we need to heal, but also know, I screenshotted this today because it was so good and I've heard about it for a while, but I have it right in front of me. So hold on, because there are 7 types of rest. And I screenshotted this today because I knew I wanted to talk about it, but I wasn't expecting it to be today. So I want to tell you guys this. We are wrapping up. Come on, let's see. Okay, there are 7 types of rest we all need. This is the source is Sandra Dalton Smith, and it talks about the 7 types of rest. Physical, more sleep, naps, deep breaths, relaxation. 2, mental, silence, meditation, music. 3, emotional, offloading baggage, talking to a good listener, therapy. 4, catching up with friends or time by yourself. 5, reading a book. It's creative. Reading a book, taking a walk in nature. I would say this is like, for all the crafty people as well, those kind of things, if you're not doing it for work or to make money. 6, spiritual, doing things that give you a sense of meaning and purpose. 7, sensory, turning off devices and screens and finding time in the quiet. These are some of the things that God, when I was in survival mode, like, he really had me work on, and I didn't know, like, I'd never heard of this, but these are absolutely the things that I did. I would take a nap. I would sleep. I would listen to worship music. I would just lay in my bed with silence until I fell asleep. I would talk to a friend. I went to therapy, social, catching up with the friends or time by yourself. Like, yes, those things help. Turning off devices and screens and finding time on the quiet. I learned that I actually loved mowing the lawn. I never would have thought that mowing the grass was going to be that helpful to me. I would have been like, that's a waste of my time. But it wasn't. And again, that's where that, like, if you flip the script, like, it absolutely is productive. Taking an entire day to watch a Hallmark shows, that's productive. That's productive. And I love that you're giving yourself permission to do that, because I know what you have been struggling with, Mary, and that's important. Also love that you're willing to show up for this workshop, knowing that it was going to be tackling goals. And that's something that you may have felt like you weren't quite ready for today. Give yourself grace. Imagine she's with you because she lives within you. So sorry for your loss, says Donna. I take everything day by day, moment by moment. I pray and plan. It helps me figure out things. Who said that? And how are you doing on your goals? Okay. Last thoughts, questions. I hope you will join me again tomorrow at noon because, friend, we are just getting started. This is just the tip of the iceberg to help you start thinking about your goals and where you're at and that kind of thing. So I wanted to answer these questions though real quick. Why should you set goals during the busiest time of the year? I want to tell you about my Weight Watcher journey. While I absolutely am not all about that diet culture stuff, and Weight Watchers definitely served me for a purpose, served its purpose in my life at a certain time. And I learned some things that I want to share with you now, not about weight per se, but I want to tell you about some of the things like that they told me. And the biggest one when it came to the holidays, like why would you want to go on a diet during the craziest season of the year? When you're going to have all the holiday parties and all the junk food, all the snacks, it's so that you can be ahead of where you were if you waited. There's no point in waiting. If you start now, you can take you. And the cool part of the 12 weeks to success way is that like, you know what you're going up against. When you look at your goals for like a huge time frame or for the year, you don't know all the things going on. Like you probably have an idea of what holiday parties you're going to have to be going to. You know, if you're going on vacation, you know what days you're going to be off work, you know when the kids are going to be home and what sports your kids are going to be in or whatever, all of those things. And so you can take the 12 weeks and you can create the goal based on this season of your life right now. So, you know, this may not be the season where you're going to have something planned for every single day because you know you have a lot of things going on, and we have Thanksgiving and Christmas in the next 12 weeks when we officially launch, which next week is the launch of the Breakthrough Challenge. So I'll be talking about it a little bit more this week, but know that doing it now just helps you get for like if you were to wait, you'd probably, first of all, if you did the Breakthrough Challenge in the past and now you're like, I want to wait because of the holidays, you're taking steps backwards. Almost guaranteed you're going backwards because you need the accountability and those practical, easy steps that you can continue to take now during that season so you don't end up going backwards. We want to continue moving forward. And even if you'd only take one or two tiny steps forward, that means you're going to be getting there faster because you didn't go backwards and have to start from, you know, way back here, which I think that's backwards when I do that. And if I ever put this on the podcast, people are like, I've got to stop using my hands so much because on the podcast, they can't see this. Anyways, all right, that is it for today. I want to tell you, the only way you can fail is not starting. So just get started. Be thinking about this. Comment, continue having a conversation here in the chat, in the video, and I will chat with you more on goals tomorrow and help you continue to take some baby steps and really determining what you want for your life. And we're probably going to be talking about vision tomorrow, okay? Which we already kind of started talking about today because a lot of you are craving